Welcome, fishing fanatics, to the ultimate bass fishing showdown of 2025. Over one wild weekend from April 5th to the 7th, the Pacific Northwest lit up with the four heart-pounding tournaments. The Washington Bass Federation had their Big Bass Bash on Lake Washington, the American Bass Tournament at Potholes Reservoir, the TBF Pro Cure Open at Siltcoos Lake, Monster Hogs, the nail-biting weigh-ins. We got cash, bragging rights, some seriously weird catches on the line. Just going to dive into this right quick. I'm not even sure those mystery catches were. I don't think it was ever posted. But there was a mystery fish. You'll see. We'll get to it. It'll be all right. Northwestern Springs, a bass angler's paradise, minus the cold weather, the windy breezes, and the rain. The lakes were buzzing with boats, scales tipping with giants, and strategy sharper than treble hooks. That's going to get you fired, right, guy? Where we're going to break down the top teams, the biggest fish, and the wildest moments from each event. First stop was Lake Washington. We're on April 5th. The Washington Bass Federation, aka the TBF. This is where they unleashed their Big Bass Team event. This was sponsored by the Legends at Spokane Valley Marine. This wasn't just a tournament, it was a bass blasting showdown. We had cash, some bragging rights, and some quirky mystery fish. All those awards were up for grabs. It was an awarding weekend for sure, man. We're getting these highlights right quick. The dynamic duo of Jamie Starsbo and Sean McDaniel, when they were boat number 7, they dominated like they had a secret bass whispering manual. They snagged first place with a 4.4-pound chonker. Then they also nabbed third place with a 3.9-pounder. And they weren't even done there. They took second place in the mystery fish deal with a 2.6-pound catch. These guys walked away with $3,500, man. It's definitely enough for a lifetime of bait. Maybe a possible couple Subway sandwiches. Probably just some sandwiches. Lifetime bait. You wrote that. But on hot on their heels was Tony Yates and Ed Bullock. And they were boat 12, and they reeled in a 4.3-pound beast for second place, missing first by a measly 0.5 of a pound. Talk about a scale tease. What? Who wrote? Tony spilled the tea on their strategy. He said, I have a couple spots and keep our head down and just keep on fishing. I caught mine on a drop shot with a margarita mutilator. I took big fish 2 times in a row on that lake on my secret spot. This time I got in about 15 feet. They're starting to move up and find their spots and do their thing. But Tony's out here dropping bombs with the margarita mutilator. It sounds like a crazy horror film. And owning his secret spot. 2 big fish wins in a row. The man's got Lake Washington dialed in. Still, second place and cash in hand is not too shabby. Kai Wickstrom and Madden Toback, they were boat 9. Dude, they hooked a 3.6-pound bass for fourth place. It's pretty solid work. They didn't win the big bucks, but they did win the hey, we know what we're doing award. Write something dumb like that again. And now the mystery fish category, because who doesn't love a plot twist? Brad Johnson and Ray Kawabata, boat 14, took first with a 2.98-pound catch. No one knows what the mystery was, but they solved it. Strasbo and McDaniel grabbed second again because apparently they're allergic to losing. This category is like bass fishing escape room. Strategy, suspense, and a little, what the heck am I reeling in? Someone posted in the comments what the mystery fish were. I don't even know, but shout out to Cody McKinnon and Adrian Jimenez. They're boat 5 with a 3.3-pounder, and Johnson and Kawabata again with a 2.8-pound catch. Some teams like boats 10, 12, and 13 skipped the mystery fish memo, but they still brought the vibes. Can't win them all, but you can look cool trying. Pretty much a quote from Primetime from the Bassmaster Classic. Deion Sanders, that guy should be back. Lake Washington was the real MVP, serving up largemouth and smallmouth like an all-you-can-eat fish buffet. Probably overpriced. Starsbo McDaniel cleaned up with $3,500, but Tony Yates in his secret spot had us all taking notes. Man, what a way to kick off the weekend. Lake Washington was just the appetizer, man. Let's head east to the Potholes Reservoir. It's like the 3rd weekend in a row for Potholes, where the American Bass Tournament brought the heat. It's the American Bass Association Washington East. We welcome to the Potholes Reservoir, Washington East. We're on April 5th. 38 teams of angling Avengers hit the water for the American Bass Tournament, a one-day brawl for bass supremacy. This fishery's a beast, man. These anglers are ready to sling some serious weight. Potholes adds it all, man. Shallow flats, deep channels, bass big enough to start a monster flick. We're diving into a 5-fish limits, man. Monster hogs and a leaderboard tighter than a knot in a storm. Fired. You're going to tell you're going to get fired. That doesn't even make sense. What does that even mean? A knot in a storm. First up, the champs, Matt Cole and Don Hole, team 16, dropping 20-pound hammer on the scales. That's a huge bag. Their 5.2-pound hog was the day's heavyweight champ. These guys didn't just fish, they dominated like bass bosses. Chris Ziegler and Matt Blankenship, they were team 18, and they slung 19-pound bags for a second with a 4.4-pound bruiser, and they're just 3/4 of a pound shy of the victory. photo finish for sure. And then third place is Ryan Helbling and Joshua Dvorak with 19 pounds and a 4.3 pound tank. This is super close. Curtis Reno and Ron Reno, the Reno Dynasty, nabbed fourth with 19 pounds. Anthony Mello and Jess Pottinger, Team 25, rounded the top five with 18.5 pounds and a 5.6 pound beast. The second heaviest fish of the day. Well, let's talk Curtis Reno. Potholes, a wizard, man. He broke it down for us because I try to stay super open minded when I'm pre fishing, and I cannot think of a place where that's more important than potholes. That's legit. It's overwhelming to say the least. There should be a 5-pounder every cast. But during my pre fish, I focused on transition spots the fish would get where they were headed. I had a solid bladed jig by early morning, but when the sun came up and the wind died, I switched to a flipping stick, slowed down, and picked stuff apart. Curtis trusted his gut. The morning of, it was a combo of pre-fishing and instinct. I was confident I had an area with quality fish and numbers. We rolled in and they were chewing the bladed jig, 16.5 pounds in the first hour. That's a crazy morning. When the bite faded, I grabbed my Alpha Angler Zilla, target specific brush, and culled up to 17-ish pounds. I lost a big one that stung. But in the last 35 minutes, I flipped the same brush and pulled a 4.9 pounder and hit that 19-pound mark. That's insane, dude. But Curtis said it best. The plan went really well. Besides that, lost fish and could have pushed us over 20, but I don't dwell. Shout out to Curtis for hyping his Alpha Angler rods, calling them the best he's ever fished. But potholes ain't always kind. Teams like Darren Green, Bobby Forrester, and Chris West got skunked, man, with 0 pounds. It's a tough day, but it happens. Definitely like the Potholes Reservoir for sure, man. But the top dogs cracked the code with less than 2 pounds, separating the top 5. The competition sharper than a hook. Bro. Fire. And here's the kicker. This was just day one. April 6th saw Anthony Mello and Jess Pottinger flip 5th place in the first place with an 18.3 pound, while Cole and Hull slipped to 17th. Potholes keep you humble, that's for sure. From monster catches to epic wipeouts, man, Potholes was a love letter to Washington's East fishing scene. Matt Cole, Don Hole, Curtis Reno, and every angler made this day electric. While Potholes was popping off, Oregon's Siltcoos Lake was serving up its own drama. Let's head to the coast for the Oregon TBF Procure Open. You know what Procure is, man. It's the scents mostly. I'm sure they do other things too, but I definitely know them for their scents. We're going to go to Siltcoos Lake, Oregon. We're on April 6th. 26 teams threw down in the Bass Federation Division's 2025 Procure Open. This coastal dune lake is a beast with clear waters and sneaky bass testing every angler's skill. We're just going to dive into this too right quick. Siltcoos streams Pacific Northwest. You got tricky weed beds, deep channels, and bass that play hard to get. That's basically the Northwest dating life there. These TBF anglers were chasing 5 fish glory and Angler of the Year points. We're going to figure out who owned the lake, man. Let's find out. Dawson Gillespie and Doran Gillespie, they were boat number 24, man. They had a monster 21.23 pound 5 fish limit. Their 4 3/4 pound hog nabbed a big fish bonus, and a clean weigh-in made them Siltcoos kings. Gary Cross and Trevor Robinson, they were boat 7, slung a 20-pound bag and a half-pound penalty stung, man, but their 5-pound hog was the biggest of the day. Locked in 2nd place, man. That's how you fight back from a 3rd place went to James Carson and Scott Boteroff, and they were both 33 with a clean 19.5 pounds, basically, and a 4.3 pound hog for bonus. Jay Bufford and Charles Adam, boat 25, took 4th with 18 pounds and a 4.2 pound kicker. Corey Thomas and Derek Nelson rounded out the top 5 with a 16 pounds and 4.8 pound beast, not ground beef. Dude, what are you talking about? Siltcoos doesn't play nice with everyone either, man. Teams like John Crawford and Alan Green limped in with 1 fish at 1.6 pounds. Andrew and Bob Weber, a single 4.2 pound lonely bass, man, but they lived it. It's tough to catch fish sometimes, man. This lake's got some teeth. What does that mean? Siltcoos is a puzzle, man, but the top teams cracked it with just 4.7 pounds splitting the top 5. And those big fish bonuses, and it's dogfight for every ounce, man. This wasn't just a tournament. Stacking points for the TBS Division 2025 Angler of the Year Series. Huge limits, heartbreak, and a 5-pound tank, man. Siltcoos was a love song to Oregon bass fishing. Coastal fishing's tough, dude, but big props to Dawson, Doran Gillespie, Gary Cross, Trevor Robinson, and every angler who made it a blast. I prefer to blast than electric. Electric's just weird. What does that even mean? Want more of this real good action? Get it. Real good. Smash the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for all things fishing. Drop a comment for who's your next pick for the Northwest Champ. Hello, there's so many leagues. Who can you pick 1? Pick 5, dude. But anyway, yeah, like, subscribe, like our writer's life depends on it because he's about to get fired. This is some wild stuff, dude. But anyway, that was it. Next week will be different. We got some kids tournaments we're going to go over for next week, I believe, as well. So like, subscribe. There's more tournaments. There's going to be tournaments every weekend. They got the KF&W. They got a big tournament coming up. Kayak guys, and their new format's going to be awesome. That's going to be it. Later.